Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel, where we start out with a little bit of Geoguessr, roast some reactionary propaganda as usual, and what I'm thinking might be a new series, a new recurring feature, since I keep getting all this crap in my inbox. A look at an email that I got from the Democrats. Maybe that saturation's up a little bit. Let me just adjust that. Yeah. Yes, when your lips look like you're wearing fluorescent lipstick when you actually aren't wearing lipstick, that suggests that maybe your saturation is too high. Just a little pro tip. Okay. Geoguessr time. We've got a bus. Those are handy. Rice. Okay. Portuguese speaking country. I'm gonna say almost certainly Brazil, some rural area in Brazil, which is most of Brazil, and Brazil is huge, so that doesn't tell us a whole hell of a lot. But we'll see. Okay. Definitely a very green rural Brazilian area, so that tells me probably the central part of the country. Hard to say, because it is a huge country. That is a Brazilian flag. That does not narrow things down as much as you would hope. Salto. Ah, no. Okay, this helps. Estado de Paraná. Okay. That definitely does help a bit. We know what state we're in. Let's go. And what is it called? Salto do Itararé. Hey, Phoenix, how you doing? Ponta Grossa, Cislau Brás, Paranapanema, Chiba. Okay, we're gonna say it's someplace in Paraná and leave it at that. 270 kilometers. For Brazil, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, we got palm trees, looks kind of dry. There's a scruffy dog. Okay, this could be lots of places. Well, I was thinking I was going to, although I'm not entirely sure. I may very well be doing one, though. Oh, wait, this is... Just let me... Okay, you're making me turn. Fine. Okay, I'll turn. Oh, hang on. We got a bin. An uninformative bin. That happens. Sometimes bins don't tell you as much as you'd like them to. Okay. Geoguessr, export and marketing of agricultural produce. Okay. And an Israeli flag. Of course, the question is, on what side of the green line are we? So much of Israeli agriculture is actually in illegal settlements. Oh well, I hope you have a good time. Geoguessr. Never heard of it. Okay. Oh no. Other end of the country. Still, not too bad. Okay, North America, it looks like. Oh, hang on, was that a speed limit? No, that's no parking. Okay. I won't park there. Junction 27. Okay, I'm getting very strong US vibes at this point. That's not quite legible. Highland Park loves you alive. Well, thank you, Highland Park. I'm rather keen on it as well. I had no idea Highland Park had any strong feelings on the subject, because I've never been there. I've heard of Highland Park. Where the hell is Highland Park? That name is very familiar to me. Is that a suburb of Chicago, maybe? Oh, hell, what does that say? No, I wanted to go back, not forward. I want to know what I'm looking at. Tree City, USA Arbor Day Foundation. Bienvenue. Adelaide Avenue. That does not actually narrow anything down. Raritan Avenue. Okie Pokey Cafe. I mean, we're definitely in the US. Name Highland Park rings this very vague bell. I was thinking Kansas, but that's actually Overland Park, I think. Community Barbers. What state is this community in, perhaps? Yeah, we're probably gonna have more of a quiet celebration here. I have a couple of bottles of nice Georgian wine. Probably drink some of that. Finish up the apple pie flavored moonshine my sister made. Let's get vaccinated, Highland Park. Let's also mask up, shall we? Jerusalem pizza. Because, I mean, when I think about pizza, I think Jerusalem. I mean, that is the fucking pizza destination right there. 732 area code. Neighborhood. Downers Grove. Whole town dedicated to being emo, I suppose. A Highland Park. I knew it. Have we got a Raritan Avenue here? There we go. Oh shit. Different Highland Park, it turns out. This is in New Jersey. Fucking name repetition. HZ Bus. Is that SG at the top level domain there? SG, yeah, we're in Singapore. Eight kilometers. That's a little bit better than, like, the wrong side of the country. Rockport, FedEx. Yeah, this is feeling very North American. I don't think Cintas exists out of the US, except maybe Canada. Louisiana, 1085 and 1077. Oh, I do love it when we get... merhaba, merhaba yoldaş. Naber? Hey, Louisiana. 1085 and 1077. Okay, 131.85. Okay. Fuchsia. 420. Very nice. Saint-Landry. 377. De Ritter. Okay, where the hell are the 4-digit route numbers in Louisiana? Oh, well, there's 307. It's the 3000s. $500. Uh, 31. Okay, 1170. That's a little bit closer to the numbers I'm after. 1108. What is it? 1077, 1085. 1111. I have new lighting that I got. Uh-huh. Abarigani. Is that... Oh, right. That yeah, Swahili. Both languages use versions of the Arabic word for news. Habari and haber are the same word. 4288 view summary. Okay, 20,482. Not too bad. And now, I just want to share, it's just some very special correspondence I got. Yeah, the subject heading is, it's Senator Schumer, and I'm personally asking. And I'm getting something on like this on the order of 5 or 6 times a day. These motherfuckers showing up, rich bastards with their hands out. I have never, I have tried to live cleanly. I have never given my information to any website that even had the slightest whiff of being related to the Democratic Party. Or to any of the US political class. Ah, shit, I need to... Oh, there we go. Get rid of that crap. And yet somehow I'm getting all these fucking emails. And here we go. This is Senator Schumer sounding like strangely desperate. And I mean, which he'd have to be if he's like coming to me for fucking money, because that's not where you go for money. But here we go. Here's what he has to say. First, they have Democrats on the top of it, just in case you were wondering. Just in case you weren't sure who you have to thank for this piece of lovely correspondence. And here's what he says. I don't want to have to keep you from any holiday celebrations by listing all the things we've accomplished this year. Yeah, because you see that's the only reason that he's not going to list all the good stuff that the Democrats have done since they've controlled the White House and both houses of Congress, because it would take too much time. So I'll just share a few ahead of the Saturday's fundraising deadline. God, these people, these motherfuckers, it does not matter what's going on. The only thing, they just, like, you could have an asteroid coming towards the planet and be like, okay, get some emails ready. We're gonna fundraise the shit out of this. If you can, chip in $7 to help keep it up, and then read on to refresh yourself on some of what our party has achieved this year. Working together, Democrats took on special interest by passing the most significant gun safety legislation in 3 decades. I like this because it actually promises nothing. What does most significant mean? I mean, never mind that a lot of this gun safety legislation is written by people who don't know anything about guns, and so the gun manufacturers figure out a way around it within weeks of it being passed. They beat big pharma and cap prescription drug costs for seniors, and the rest of us are still fucked. My mother, for example, has to get is on something in order to deal with bone density. And the only way that her insurance will pay for it, the only way her Medicare supplement bullshit will pay for it is if she gets generic. And the only generics that she can get are from companies that are so dodgy that even the FDA has issued them with written warnings, because you can't actually be sure about the actual dosage and contents of the pills that they send you. But yeah, just what's in it for me at this point, Phoenix asks, and yeah, well, they'll send you more fucking emails. confirmed 97 Article 3 judges, including Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. I don't give a shit. I mean, what I'm noticing, because of course they and passed the Chips and Science Act, the bipartisan infrastructure law, which sucked, the PACT Act, which this is the first I've heard of, and the Respect for Marriage Act, which is like the closest thing to a worthwhile thing that they did. And if that wasn't enough, every single Democratic senator that was up for re-election won, and we even flipped Pennsylvania's Senate seat. I don't. Why do I give a shit? You're not doing anything with it that I care about. Like, I mean, it's actually amazing to me that they managed to pull that off, because there are good reasons that Democrats lose the midterms when they control the White House. Mostly that they can't make particularly credible excuses for why they haven't done anything good. I'm reminding you of our many accomplishments this year because you directly support that work. No, I fucking don't. That's libelous. Whether it was volunteering, which I didn't do, donating, which I've never done, spreading the word to families and friends, which I guess I've done, but not in a way that I think Chuck Schumer would be happy with. You played a major role in the success of Democrats this year. Yeah, that is an accusation, and he'd better back that up with something if he's going to accuse me of that. And these fucking people. Yeah, it does not take much to do more to help other people than the Democrats. I mean, these rich motherfuckers with their six-figure incomes, and that's before you even get into the stuff they've got on the side, going around sticking their hands out as if they didn't have fucking billionaires lining up to grease their pockets. Palms. You grease palms, not pockets. If your pockets are greased, then you need to go to the dry cleaner. Because they want to lose. They would rather lose elections than actually have to do things that working class people might benefit from, because it would piss off their donors. That's what's going. That's why they'd rather lose. And I have a feeling if you actually were, a fly on the wall of their offices when those midterm results came out, they would have been fucking kicking themselves, because there was every reason to believe that they would get completely wiped out, in which case they would be off the hook. They wouldn't have to follow through on anything, since they have no inclination to follow through on anything good. And those mutual aid resources, if you want to like promote those resources, pass them around on in the Discord, or if you want me to share them, make them more, I'm happy to do that, by the way. Okay, so that was the end of Fuck Schumer's little email. I mean, the other day it was James Carville that I got an email from. It's like I thought I was done with James Carville. I was done with James Carville before Clinton had his second term. Fucking bog corpse. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you look at the people who are completely just screwed right now, the people who are just absolutely in the shit economically, financially, whatever. Those are big. And compare them to the people who are actually doing pretty comfortably. Don't have to worry about anything. Actually, are the part of the shrinking number of people who can actually live comfortably without having to worry about their shelter, their food, clothing, any of their basic needs ever being met because they've got enough money. When when enough money keeps getting higher every year, it's the people who have the least to spare who are almost invariably the ones who actually spare the most. Meanwhile, rich fuckers will donate money to a foundation they control, and then like they'll put a press release out and want credit for the fact that they moved money from one pocket to the other. Okay. Oh, there we go. I have trouble keeping track of my windows. Okay, it is time for the roasting. Okay, Santa visits PragerU. Like, that just that can't possibly be any less fucked up than it sounds like. Addressing Xanderhole addressing the Vosh allegations. I don't know what the Vosh allegations are. There's so many subjects we could be talking about here. We have Vosh. Why am I criticized so much? An interview. Well, I got some answers for you if you're wondering, Vosh. Hit me up. I can tell you why you're criticized so much. It's because you suck. Zan reacts to Vosh, reacting to Shu, reacting to Zan, reacting to Shu, reacting to Valenciaga. Jesus Christ. Israel, Shira prays for peace. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. And then we have some transphobic shit, the PragerU again, the truth about gender-affirming care. Anyone have any strong feelings about any of those? Let me just... hang on. I'm not familiar with Lily Orchard, but I mean, the fact that she doesn't like debate chuds immediately disposes me favorably towards her. Well, okay. I think we're gonna start out, though, because how could we not, with Santa visits PragerU. That just sounds like such a fucking car crash. I feel that we really must do it. It's not long either. Okay, let's get my crop where I need it. Ah, that's looking pretty good.
Ho, ho, ho, and Merry Christmas. I have a list. I've checked it twice, and
This is like... They really put no effort into this stuff at all.
we're here at the PragerU offices to see who's been naughty or nice.
Well, I can answer that. They've all been fucking naughty.
Ho, ho, ho,
I mean, really, it's a relative term when it's within... Are we, like, comparing them to other members of the PragerU offices? Or are we comparing them to, like, normal people? Xander, pain in the ass. Oh, well, it's an accurate nickname. Can't fault the...
How's my boy? How are you?
I'm doing great, Santa. How are you doing?
I'm very jolly and cheerful.
Yeah, he sounds it, too.
What do you want for Christmas this year?
I just want freedom to reign across the land.
Yeah, right.
What does Christmas mean to you?
The birth of Jesus, of course. Definitely spending time with my family.
Do you drink your eggnog cold or warm?
Cold?
First of all, who are these people even? I've never actually seen any of these people on a PragerU video.
Drinks it hot.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find one. Let me ask you this. If there was one person
I've never drunk that stuff in my entire life. I assumed that it was drunk warm.
to get coal in the office this year, who would it be?
Well, I mean, considering that you're financed by fossil fuel billionaires, I'd assume that you always got coal.
CJ.
Why?
Just CJ. CJ's my answer.
What's the point of this? Who gives a shit? Nobody knows who these people are. Like, nobody watching this knows who any of these fucking people are.
Who deserves coal this Christmas?
Who's this for?
Aldo, for sure.
Who's Aldo?
Who's that? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
He doesn't know who the fuck Aldo is.
Oh man,
And who the hell's
I want to say
he?
Home Depot. I mean, not Home Depot. Home Alone.
Yeah, Home Depot, the Christmas movie.
Home Alone.
First
He's so fucking tickled by
time
this.
I've gotten that answer.
Favorite Christmas movie has to be It's a Wonderful Life, featuring Jimmy Stewart.
What does
God.
Christmas mean to you?
I mean, how can somebody from PragerU watch that? I mean, even at the time, right-wingers were accusing it of being communist, which is kind of hilarious because the hero of the piece is a fucking banker. I mean, if anything, it actually is quite... It lends itself quite well to, like, a fairly traditional fascist interpretation because you have the hard-working banker who is not just in it for financial assets, he's a productive capitalist and all this stuff. I mean, Caleb Maupin probably, like, fucking wanks to it. But how can somebody who works for PragerU watch that and not realize that they're Mr. Potter?
For me, it's
If you're asking whether I meant I've never had eggnog, no, I have never had eggnog. Like, the holiday beverage, there are two holiday beverages that I actually drink. One is Glühwein, which is a German mulled wine. I mean, Sweden has a version of it. There's a British version of it. They just call it mulled wine. Finland's got a version of it, but it's delicious. It's mulled wine served hot. And at the Nuremberg Christmas market, you get a contact buzz off of that shit while you're just walking around the market. And the other one is champagne. And, I mean, like, eggnog just sounds like poor food hygiene somehow.
lots of family time. Yeah, and good food.
Do you drink
Another
your
person
eggnog
we've never
hot or
seen
cold?
before.
I don't drink that. Ew.
Okay, it happens occasionally that somebody on PragerU says something I agree with. This is an example. That stuff has just always looked nasty to me.
Very decisive. Okay. Merry Christmas, Chrissy.
Happy holidays.
Oh, burn. Also, who the fuck is this guy?
Is it Happy Holidays or is it Merry Christmas?
Holidays.
Why, Chrissy?
It's more inclusive.
What the hell is this? Okay, I mean... First of all, I don't know who this person is.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh, there you go, Phoenix.
Die Hard 1 or 2?
1.
Then absolutely not.
Do you drink your eggnog hot or cold?
Probably hot. It's really good in a latte.
What? Okay.
Yeah, it's really
The
good
hell
in a
is
latte.
Chrissy, do you enjoy your eggnog hot or cold?
Ew, do people drink it hot?
They do.
Sparkling apple cider is good stuff. I mean, I like proper, like, scrumpy, the cloudy cider that you get in Britain and Ireland and in some parts of Spain and Belgium. That stuff is absolutely delicious. I mean, I have a certain affection for the cloudy apple cider that you get around here that is basically non-alcoholic. I mean, that stuff is... I enjoy that. But, I mean, a good scrumpy, I just absolutely adore it. Memleket nereli, plunderfucker.
Okay, well, as long as there's no dairy in it.
If there was one person or maybe a group in the office that were to get coal this year, who would it be and why?
I mean, they are owned by fossil fuel billionaires, so you'd think that coal was a good thing for them to get. You'd think that was how they knew they actually had done well.
I would say it would just have to be the social media team.
And if one person in the office were to get coal this year,
See, it's nice that they just said the social media team there, because since none of these people is anyone that anyone watching this has ever seen before, except for maybe people who work at PragerU, at the very least you get the designation of what they do.
who would it be and why?
Definitely social media.
Who deserves coal this Christmas in this
Who the
office?
fuck is he?
I don't think anyone deserves coal in this office.
Really?
You know, they should get oil. Ingilisin. Ingilisin. Oh, where in Britain you from then?
Chrissy, who deserves coal this Christmas?
First of all, coal is bad for the environment, so nobody.
Oh, this is them like trying to take the piss out of libs. Except the thing is that they don't know how to take the piss out of things. So this Chrissy, whoever Chrissy is supposed to be, with the purple hair and everything, is just kind of making valid
Nobody
points.
should be burning coal, but if you're gonna give it to anyone, maybe Spencer.
If one person in the office was to get coal this year, who would it be?
I think it'd be Spencer on
Why-
social team.
Why is that?
He just deserves it.
Spencer, my boy, have you been naughty or nice this year?
Okay, again, these are just people who work in the office. We've never seen any of these people before. Oh, well, I have a certain affection for the West Country. I have good friends in South Devon, and I spent a lot of the last several years living in South Wales, in Cardiff. And if you live in Cardiff, then if you want to go for drinks, you basically go to Bristol, because Cardiff just turns all the fucking pubs into luxury student accommodation. There's more luxury student accommodation in Cardiff than there are fucking students in the EU.
Here.
I would say I've been a tad naughty.
Really?
Oh god, I don't want to hear more.
Why is that?
I've been eating a lot of sugar, and I've been, poisoning the water supply here at PragerU.
What's he been doing with to the water supply? I mean, what's he pissing in it? What's he doing?
That's very naughty, Spencer. You're getting coal this year. I'm here with Mexican Santa. First of all,
Oh, okay. So now they're gonna be racist.
I love your outfit. It looks great.
Dude, look at us.
Look at us. I think we look great.
A couple of sexy Santas. That's what it's all about.
What is it all about, though? What is Christmas about to you?
Well, when you're younger, Christmas is all about presents, candy canes, eggnog. But when you get older, it's about
What is
family,
this for?
eating food. Right now,
Eating food.
I'm a little hefty. It's all about eating turkey, ham, yams, cornbread, mashed potatoes, getting together with the family, eating. That's it. That's what Christmas is all about, baby.
I know that better than anyone, as you can see. And who deserves coal this Christmas?
Cardiff has some nice places to go out. But I mean, the best ones they're all an endangered species. The council have absolutely no sense of historical preservation. Like the oldest pub in the city centre, a pub that had been operating since the late 18th century, a pub that had seen historic events like the celebration for Margaret Thatcher's death, where they distributed free milk to everybody in honor of the death of the milk statcher. They just let that get turned into a shitty sports bar. But then there's still, City Arms, and they're lovely. I mean, best draft list in town. But then, the only, really Welsh-speaking pub, the Mochen D, the owners got kind of tired of it. I don't know, they were trying to retire or something like that, and they just sent it over they sold it to a chain of brew pubs. And I mean, as a chain of brew pubs goes, I mean, the interior's nice, the beer's decent, but it's just not the same. And it was the only place you could go in Cardiff to order in Welsh that people would actually understand you.
Besides you, of course.
I get the most coal. But besides me, it would be our angry photographer, Miguel.
Well, you guys, that's a wrap.
Okay, so it's all just fucking people we've never heard of who
I'd
work
love to
for
stay, but I got a sleigh to catch back to the North Pole. We'll see.
a low-quality propaganda
Next one.
outfit.
Touch our bellies. We have to censor this. We have to censor this.
Yes, because that is about as gay as you're allowed to get on PragerU. Christmas is for being with your family and being reminded why you don't live with them anymore. Yeah, that sounds about right. Although, I mean, if you've managed to sort of whittle down your family, you can do pretty well. We've sort of... Oh, hang on. Get that. We've sort of trimmed the family a little bit here, and we've ended up with, all just the good bits. Okay. Addressing the Vosh allegations. That sounds like it could be good bullshit. And we've still got a fair bit of time. Yeah. Well, Bristol still does really good pub. I mean, they have a bunch of lovely pubs. They have amazing Victorian interiors, good draft lists. I mean, it is really worth the cost of the train ticket just to go over. Yeah. There's even a train out of Bristol at like 1:45 a.m. back to Cardiff, which doesn't there's nobody on it, and so you could just go into first class, and there's no CCTV. Oh, Bag of Nails, that's the cat pub, isn't it? I've wanted to go there for so long, ever since I heard of it. Tell me about Bag of Nails. That is a place I keep meaning to go to every time I've ever been in Bristol, which has been a few years now because of fucking pandemic. But oh God, I've never managed to get in there.
All right, everybody. I am going to be going over a drama that is honestly pretty ridiculous, and
well, I mean, that's kind of par for the course for you, isn't it?
It really didn't gain much traction to begin with. It was always kind of a meme, but I do think it's worth going over because, one, you guys really want me to, and two,
It's the most random name for a cat pub too. You'd expect some really cute name like Fluffy Pints or I don't know. That's a really shitty name actually. that's crap. But I mean, Bag of Nails does not sound like a cat pub.
two, Vosh is my friend, and I do find this whole thing.
Friend, I think, is putting it a little bit. I mean, you live in his asshole. Your whole little room there, it's just the holodeck of Vosh's asshole.
Obviously, it's someone essentially trying to slander a friend of mine, but also, it is also something involving a friend of mine that is quite ridiculous, so I feel...
Well, everything involving Vosh is pretty ridiculous, so... Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's all expensive. If somebody's put a record on, no one can stop playing it till the album's done. Well, then you have to hope that the... Wait, the landlord is another... We'll start shooting everybody with a super soak. Oh, beer selection's amazing. It plays music on vinyl. Fuck, that sounds so good. I haven't been to a fucking pub since, 2018.
Kind of motivated to talk about it. Hypers in chat. If you have seen an anime before, I have.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's unique.
I have seen, so far, all the way through, 3 animes in my life. I have seen Death Note, I have seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and I have seen... Oh, sure there was another one.
Oh, well,
I've seen the first couple episodes of Chainsaw Man, and the first couple episodes of One Punch Man. I also watched a little bit of
Why are we talking about this? I thought we were talking about some Vosh allegations. Wasn't that the idea?
Pokemon as a kid, but that's pretty much it. That is my... I also watched a couple episodes of Fairy Tail when I was younger, like when I was 14. Didn't really like it much, so I didn't watch more than a few episodes. So sorry if there's anyone in chat molding and coping and seething about that. If you watch anime, even if you don't watch anime, because frankly, even before I watched my very first anime for real, sat down, was like, I'm gonna watch an actual anime for the first time, I kinda knew what reputation it had. Go anywhere on the internet, and you will find anime culture just kind of around, and you will...
What does this have to do with the Vosh allegations?
Start to feel yourself learning about anime through, just sort of a cultural absorbing of the topic, right? And very quickly, one of the most common sentiments, one of the stereotypes you'll very quickly figure out about anime as a medium is that regardless of how good it is, regardless of how artistically creative or compelling it is, whatever, no matter how much you like it,
I don't give a shit about this. I want to hear what probably true allegations you're defending Vosh from.
pretty much every anime has some sus shit in it, at least by our standards here in the West.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's sort of like a Vosh video, a Xanderhall video in that way. There's always some sus shit.
Particularly when it comes to the depiction of women, and especially the depiction of young women. There's a lot of sussy-wussy shit out there, which means that if you're like a normal person who watches anime, pretty much any anime on anywhere near a regular basis, you're going to end up seeing some sussy shit that you're just gonna have to, grit your teeth through. It's sus.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's what he's doing when he sees sus shit involving women.
In Japan too. Well, I'm not 100% sure about like the differences there, but
I'm shocked. I assumed that you were the guy to ask about Japanese culture.
I imagine it would be. Regardless, though, we just kind of sit back and like have to grit our teeth. Even some of the most popular animes, there's some stuff that's just kind of like, damn, this is like one of the most well-loved and popular animes out there.
His autofocus is like sick of him.
And this,
his autofocus is that looks like Agad Mator's dog on his bed there. And the funny thing is that Agad Mator's dog has not been in his videos lately. Has he done a Tim Pool with Agad Mator's dog?
This one's even kind of sussy in certain parts, right? Like,
actually, it's more sexually repressed, and that is why there is stuff like tentacle porn. Because the thing is that the threshold for a socially acceptable representation of sexuality is so low. I mean, or that the idea was you would use tentacles to represent what was going on and get past the censors. I mean, I thought Tim Pool was the one who kidnapped cats. What? I mean, Xanderhall did that too?
Hell, Vosh was ranting the other day about this. I have not seen it. It's called Evangelion. From the way that I hear it talked about, my understanding is there was a movie and a show, and apparently both of them are like...
I will admit the only anime I've watched is Agretsuko, which is really good. I love it. I can watch that a million times. It's just sweet. But unlike this motherfucker, I speak Japanese. I've read lots of Japanese literature. I've read lots of manga in the original. I actually, know shit about Japan. Whereas he just knows shit.
Amazing. Apparently they're both phenomenal as far as storytelling, character development, animation, etc. go. But apparently they're also quite sussy in the way they depict some of the characters in it. And that was, of course, what Vosh was... Our boy Vosh, You'll know that he complains a lot about exactly this. I mean, if you've watched, like, a Vosh gaming stream, or, like, any Vosh stream where he is allowed to stun lock and talk...
Kendine iyi bak. İyi akşamlar.
About media, I feel like once a month he rants about how sus anime is. Which kind of makes...
Which is really something, considering how sus he is.
...sense, considering the fact that he watches a lot of anime, so he'd probably be somewhat non-stop frustrated about that fact. Sort of like how when I play a lot of Minecraft, I'm non-stop frustrated by its flaws and feel like ranting about it all the time,
I'm getting cross-eyed from his autofocus.
Which is why all of this drama... Knowing all of this, knowing that is the history that we're talking about here, we're going to get into...
the history, whatever the Vosh allegations are, there's something to do with anime.
Drama at hand. Someone who I guess I used to consider a friend, a smaller content creator who just kind of came along into my community and seemed pretty reasonable, seemed pretty chill, made some pretty good videos dunking on and exposing some pretty bad people in the political space.
Are we gonna get some specifications? Because the simple fact that Xanderhole soured on this person immediately makes me want to check them
named
out.
Old Man Landre made a video called Irish Laddie's Disgusting Anime List. Irish Laddie watches Lolly, say it ain't so, Vosh, is what the thumbnail says there. As much as I would like to be able to be, like, charitable to Old Man Landre in this.
Okay. The fucking American flag already tells me we're probably not gonna get on.
You'll notice that he just straight up calls Vosh Irish Laddie in the title.
What sense does that make? Last I checked, his background was not Irish at all. It was like Polish or something.
Which is just kind of like, it's literally the same thing as when people try to call me Pig Puncher. It's like a very clear.
People call him Pig Puncher? I can't imagine him punching a pig. He'd break his wrist.
Sort of jab. It's a very, like...
I call him Vosh's Dingleberry. I never would have thought of calling him a pig puncher.
Shallow jab. It's not very strong or anything, but it's an attempt. It's certainly an attempt.
How is that an attempt? Like, what is calling him an Irish laddie an attempt at a jab? Like, what is wrong with being Irish or a laddie?
Pretty dishonest, if I'm being honest.
It makes no sense,
if I'm being honest, yeah. Like, it feels pretty dishonest and kind of like, well poisoning.
Oh, it was his old screen name. Okay.
Right off the bat, like, this is supposed to bring in people who already hate the guy. Anyway. Basically, and I guess we can take a look at this video. It's not super long. We'll go ahead and we'll give it a watch. Let's give it a quick look. We'll give it a very quick once over.
Hello everyone, it's Old Man Landre. I need to share a link with you that I stumbled on recently. Here it is on your screen right now. I'm sharing it with you because as a father...
Oh, he's got this at high speed. It's like, this guy's...
father of young children, 2 of them, I found the contents of that link to be very unsettling. Because on that list are more than 200 different anime titles, many of which contain very young children who are put in very adult situations.
I guess he's just getting right to his thesis right off the bat, so...
Yeah, some people actually get to their thesis immediately after starting their videos, Xanderhall. They're called people who don't want to waste the time of their fucking audiences. I also like to just get to the point and tell people what the thing is about, rather than spending 20 minutes talking about, like, my personal history with watching anime.
So I guess I'll drop the counter thesis right off the bat. It kind of feels like the way he's presenting this anime list is... I
mean, and let's remember in this context that, I don't know any of these titles. And this is the first I've heard of any of these allegations. But Vosh has said some pretty sus shit when it comes to, like, the subject of child sex abuse.
Almost like he's unearthing kind of a secret, right? Like, if Vosh was watching... cataloging and enjoying lolicon, like lolly porn or whatever, obviously said list would be private. He would never show it publicly.
Except that he's, like, been pretty open about, like, trivializing the harm done by CSA and child porn and stuff like that. So maybe, I mean, somebody who would do that and sees absolutely nothing wrong with it probably wouldn't necessarily realize it's something to hide.
Not on stream, not talk about it. Hell, he wouldn't even, name the account after his well-known name, right?
Oh, okay, that's how we get Irish Laddie.
Logically, these are things that he would not have done in the way, you'd assume if this was how it was being framed. In reality, Vosh has actually shown this anime list on stream, while ranting about how some of the anime in the list, all of them being anime that are pretty damn popular and well recommended, contain sus shit in them. This wasn't some hidden private thing. This anime list is public.
Well, obviously it's public. Otherwise, this guy, whoever the fuck he is, wouldn't be able to show it to everybody.
He's literally ranted about a bunch of the stuff in them. So
are we going to see any of that?
Actually, what Old Man Laundry is doing here is saying Vosh watched popular animes that have creepy shit in them. Also,
well, maybe let him finish, because it seems like he was actually not done explaining what his thesis was.
Let's forget about the fact that he's literally called out how creepy the content in these are.
Well, we have Xander Hall's word on that, which I don't actually take without significant amounts of salt. Because, I mean, he said some really, really creepy shit. Vosh has, and of course Xander Hall defends that too. Like, literally, Vosh could do basically anything. And Xander Hall there's nothing that Vosh could do that Xander Hall would not immediately explain why it's the best thing in the world.
Very young children, priming wording makes it sound like he's talking about 10 and under. Listen, it doesn't really matter. What actually matters is, like, the presentation of the characters, right? Like, if you look at a character in anime and you see them and you're like, that's a 10-year-old, that's a 12-year-old, that's a child. If you see a character in anime and you see them and you're just like, that is a child, like, without knowing any other context, sexualizing that character is definitely sus zoned, like, without even
a
shadow of a doubt. I don't care what the story is or the canon or the lore, or like, oh no, actually she's a fully adult woman, but she just kind of dresses that way because she's super attached to her like youth and everything, so she just kind of acts a lot like a child and dresses like a child. But
which, it's worth noting, is actually a whole fucking street fashion thing in Japan. Like, when they talk about Rori in Japan, the reception of Nabokov's, of Lolita that is based on has basically zero to do with what that book is about. It's basically just like basically sort of Rococo and Victorian, like, children's sort of styles, but for grown women. And it is a whole thing. It is an actual fashion trend. It's actually quite popular. There's a brilliant movie on the subject. So, I mean, they're called, it's based on a novel called Shimotsuma Monogatari, or Kamikaze Girls, about two girls who are, one is into Rori and is an amazing seamstress, and the other one is into motorcycle gangs and this weird friendship that they've got going on that also involves lots of gambling. Very good movie, highly recommended. But so, like, these fashion choices he's describing, that is not out of nowhere in the Japanese context. The whole that fashion style is quite popular. There is a lot of very expensive boutiques in Harajuku in Tokyo selling Rori clothes. And we're talking just extremely elaborate dresses and things like that with just this amazing detailing. I once commented, Phoenix says, that Zan's parents should apologize for the mistake they made 23 years ago, and one of my friends called me out for hitting below the belt. It was a response to Zan Stan badgering Thought Slam about apologizing for hurting Zan's fifis. Honestly, as much as Zan has helped me out by providing all this sort of content for me to point out how full of shit it is, I do think the world would be better if he didn't do that.
But in reality, she's just like super like growth stunted and isn't really like she's unable to grow up. It's like, okay, fuck off. This is all just copium and like trying to find loopholes. And these are all things that Vosh has criticized and called out in the anime.
Which is kind of interesting because, again, Vosh is on record saying some extremely creepy things about, like, actual child porn.
On this list, while showing this list publicly. By the way, the link literally is myanimelist.net/animelist/Irish Laddie.
Yeah, we got that.
The name that everybody knows he used to go. Do you?
I didn't know.
Do you actually think you exposed something here? Like something scathing or bad?
Well, I mean, the thing is that Vosh does a lot of things in public that are totally inadvisable, that immediately mark him out as somebody who's kind of a fucking scumbag. So, yeah, commenting on that is fair game. Are we gonna hear what this guy has to say about it, or is this gonna be it?
You legitimately call him a lolicon in the title.
No, he doesn't. He in the title it says Irish laddie's disgusting anime list. There's nothing in there that
Lolicons
says
are
that.
pedophiles who watch anime child porn to get off on it, not somebody who watches anime.
He does not call him that though.
And some of the anime has sus shit in it because anime. That's not what a lolicon is. Please try.
And
trust
also this idea that all anime has sus shit in it, that's bullshit.
me. With how many of these motherfuckers I've dealt with, and you guys should know if you've watched me, he is not one.
Is that Gengaros, Gengeros, Genkiros? Which did I pronounce it correctly even one time there? Welcome, by the way. I haven't seen you in chat before. Nice to see you.
Situations that some terminally online folks apparently find acceptable, but I find disgusting. Now, you are totally free to dissect the contents of that list on your own.
Well, I mean, I'd really kind of hope if you're gonna start out that way, you're gonna do some dissecting yourself.
And come to your own conclusions, and do what you wish after you come to those conclusions.
Apparently,
Is that gonna be it? No, it's a 10-minute video. It's 9 minutes and 49 seconds. We're only 49 seconds into it. So he does go into more about it. Where are you joining us from?
a bunch of people reached out in private to Old Man Landre when they found out he was trying to put this video together, trying to warn him, like, please don't make this video. You're gonna make yourself look like such an idiot, dude.
Well, I mean, who cares? So Vosh Stan said don't make a critical video about Vosh. What's new?
Like, this might be the biggest boomer move you've ever... So Old Man Landre, as the name denotes, is a massive
once again, Xanderhall doesn't know what a boomer is.
And he's very clearly, like, not... There's a very clear, like, generational misunderstanding or gap here.
He looks the same age as Vosh. Not far from me, then. I'm one state over in Ohio.
Where he just sees anime and is like, oh, this is child porn. And it's like, if you watch this, then you're a fucking, like... And that's just where it is, right? Basically the same opinion my mom has of anime, ironically enough. And that's basically the...
Well, that says something about the anime she's walked in on you watching, Zan.
Logic that Old Man Landre is using here to justify calling Vosh a pedo.
Which he hasn't done. I mean, if he does that, we haven't heard him say that. Maybe skip to the part where he actually says that. Because you already lied about the title of the video, which is on screen right now, and does not... so maybe... Actually, let's hear what the guy actually has to say.
Okay. Alright.
But I need to get my thoughts out there, so here they are. First, the username.
I recognize a few... Obviously, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is probably one of the most well-known animes out there, but as this scrolls, I've noticed actually, like, I recognize a few of these just because...
Oh, so he doesn't even recognize all of these, and yet... he's certain there's nothing sus in the list. I spent a really, really, like, soul-killing weekend in Akron once.
They're so popular, I've heard...
But I used to own a futon from there.
Heard them shouted out by, like, random
and that futon
media
is very nice.
YouTubers or, like, Let's Players or streamers who watch anime saying, oh yeah, I watch yada yada yada. Okay, that's a weird, like, combo of words, but okay. And I...
Wait, no sound, you mean you can't hear me, or you can't hear them? Who... Can you hear me, Phoenix? Can you hear everything okay? Okay, I will.
I kind of recognize a few of these.
At the end of that URL is Irish Laddie.
So he kind of
Irish Laddie,
recognizes
as
a few.
many of you may know, is the longtime username that was used by the popular leftist content creator Vosh before Vosh.
Well, okay, that is an unfair accusation. You cannot lump you cannot call him leftist. You cannot lump that prick in with leftist. That is unfair. You're right. Okay, Xander Hall is right. This guy is full of shit. I mean, imagine associating Vosh with leftists.
that he would go by. Now, is it
Oh my god. The fool. The absolute fool forgot
And he's got, what is this fucking Joe Biden thing in the background there? What the hell is that?
to hide his supposed lolicon anime list behind a link that didn't literally contain his name in it. Dude, this is the most ridiculous attempt I have ever seen. I can't tell if this is just like a dishonest attempt to try to get more views and subs, because it's like, all right, channels.
And not as dishonest as you totally misrepresenting the actual title while it's on the screen, though.
Not blowing up as fast as I want it to. I don't feel like putting in the grind and uploading every single day to please the algorithm, so I guess I'll just upload an anti-Vosh video, or just really any anti-debate bro video and bring those people into my audience. I can't tell if it's that or legitimately he just doesn't...
That fucking Biden thing behind him is creeping me out, seriously.
Like
especially because I got an email from Joe Biden saying, "Would you like me to call you?" I mean, these fucking fundraising emails are getting creepier. Xander Hall, okay, the deal with Xander Hall, there's the lore is very deep. See, Xander Hall's whole thing that he's been making money off of for a few years now is that he used to be a Nazi and is supposedly a leftist now. Except that he's kind of cool with Nazis and he still says a lot of fast shit. And but he, yeah, I mean, it's like he sort of vacillates between lib and fash. Sort of like Vosh. That's why they get on so well. Apart from the fact that Vosh lets him live rent-free in his rectum. He is one of Vosh's dingleberries.
Like, he just doesn't get that, like, if you're a person who watches anime, his
autofocus is still boycotting him.
You're gonna end up watching some anime with sus shit in it. Maybe DGG.
Well, unless you have, like, some standards and just watch there's tons of anime. It's a genre that's been around a long time. It's very prolific. You just watch the stuff that hasn't got sus shit in it.
No, I don't...
This is like, I mean, the last time we saw Xander Hall, he was explaining why it was totally cool that he'd spent several years, after supposedly no longer being a fascist, palling around and defending Shoe-On Head as she incited violence against LGBT people.
Or DGG. No, Old Man Laundry does not really like DGG. He doesn't hate every DGGer, but he's had quite a bit of drama with Destiny, and his fans do not like Mr.
What the hell is a DGG?
Girl? Or Mr. Girl. Do not like Old Man Laundry, so I have a feeling this isn't supposed to appeal to DGGers necessarily. I think it's meant to appeal to the people who think Vosh is like a racist, sexist, homophobic, pedophile, whatever.
You mean all the things that he is?
Is it technically possible that this Irish laddie isn't the same Irish laddie as Vosh? Sure, but due to the...
Well, I mean, Xander Hall... Okay, so he's actually offered Xander Hall an out there and Vosh an out there, and Xander Hall's just sort of kind of dismissed that and just said, yeah, it's totally his.
The super niche nature.
Not... Okay, obviously this is Vosh's anime list because he's shown it on stream. This isn't like a secret anime list that's being unearthed or anything. But Old Man Laundry...
Well, which of course means that every single person in the world knows it and has seen it. I didn't even know that he used to go by Irish Laddie, which, like, seriously, fuck.
Andre does know that people will, like, steal your name online if you're a public figure with a certain amount of, like, popularity and do bad shit, right?
Which is why he's allowing for that possibility. In fact, you'll notice he's allowing for that possibility to the extent that he has sacrificed fucking SEO by saying it's Irish Laddie's disgusting anime list, instead of saying it's Vosh's in the title of the video. He's literally allowing for that possibility there.
Like,
that's more honest than either Vosh or Xander Hall when they're attacking somebody. Yeah, I thought his background was Polish too. I have no idea where Irish comes from there. I mean, maybe there's Irish in there too. I don't particularly give a shit about his family tree.
I feel like Old Man Laundre might see. So I've multiple times had like fake Twitter accounts made to pretend to be me and start tweeting slurs so that they can be like screenshot.
Well, why would they have to do that? I mean, hang around Xanderhall long enough, he will say
Be like,
so.
Zan, explain this. You know, and it, like they replace the L.
Why
in my
would you?
name.
Why go to the trouble? I mean, you just like clip his fucking videos, and you've got plenty of stuff that he could spend his entire life trying to explain.
Like a capital I or something, and figure out a way to make it work. Like, I feel like Old Man Laundre would fall for that. Like some fake Twitter account that...
Except he clearly hasn't. He clearly hasn't. He is specifically allowing for the possibility that this is not actually Vosh's list. He's offering more leeway on that possibility than you're even giving him.
Made an that's like replacing a letter to make it look like it's my username, saying some slur, just some horrible thing. He'd fall for it and show a screenshot of that and be like...
And let me just make it clear, I've never heard of Old Man Laundre. The fact that he's got an American flag and fucking Joe Biden in his background tells me we probably would not agree on many things. I'm not an Old Man Laundre stan to the extent that they exist. This is the first I've ever heard of him. But, I mean, I have to say that this attack of his, he's being more honest and fair and, even-handed just in terms of recognizing, even at the cost of SEO, just in terms of recognizing that maybe this isn't the right list or something like that, than either Xanderhall or Vosh is when they decide to go after somebody.
And then Xanderhall said this and deleted the tweet, clearly, because I can't find it. Xanderhall, I recently had to ban someone in our comments pretending to be you. Yeah, that's the thing. On YouTube especially.
Why would you pretend to be him? Do you have a humiliation
There's
kink
this
or something?
epidemic of in every content creator's like comment section, you'll get these scam bot accounts that are trying to scam your viewers that'll pretend.
Yeah, they have the creator's name and then Telegram and then a bunch of numbers or something like that.
To be you, it'll be like Xanderhall dash crypto, Xanderhall dash gift. Anything that's claiming to be me like that is not me. Okay.
Yeah, they automatically reply to people's comments. I've had these as replies
like,
a few
my
times.
username on YouTube is Xanderhall. That is it, just Xanderhall. And if you need to check, click on the account and see if it leads to my channel. If it doesn't, then it's not me. And I'm also not just gonna like say, "Whoa, you won a prize!" Whoa, unless you won like the
also, maybe don't necessarily click on those links.
build contest on the server, which is a whole, like, you'd know because you entered that contest.
Of this site and the relatively unique nature of the name Irish Laddie, I honestly find that hypothesis to be very unlikely.
That doesn't seem like it would be a particularly unique name. I mean, Irish and Laddie. I mean, those things kind of go together.
That said, before
I mean, it sounds daft as fuck. But, I mean, it wouldn't be unusual to find Irish adjacent to Laddie.
you dig into the link I just shared with you, and which I will also link below, there are some things that we need to get straight, which are very important. First, we need to understand what the site is. If, like me, before I stumbled on it, you didn't know what it was. This site basically allows its users to learn about anime, watch anime, and create their own playlists. There's nothing necessarily bad with that. Then we need to talk about lolly. What is it, and is it always bad? Now, even though I'm not into anime, I had heard this term lolly thrown around a lot by people online.
And the thing is, there is a big difference between rori and rorikon. Those are two very different things. I mean, one has to do with the street fashion from Harajuku, the like dresses that you find at shops like Baby the Stars Shine Bright that are amazingly elaborate, like Victorian and Rococo dresses and things like that. And the other is, like, just basically pedo shit.
And the suggestion is often that it's just automatically bad. But when I asked a few anime lovers to help me understand these different terms and what I was looking at with...
Oh, no. Careful.
So, okay, he's already being way more even-handed and acknowledging, unlike Vosh, unlike Xanderhall, both of whom know nothing. You put all of their sum of, like, general knowledge together and write it down, and you will not need a second page. You won't even need to use the second side. Okay, this guy is already being more even-handed and honest than I've ever seen either of those two pricks be.
All right, hold on.
So he admits that that anime isn't his thing, that he doesn't really know these things, and he doesn't want to paint with too broad strokes. So he asked people who, I mean, at least he assumes know about. I don't know. We'll see whether we can believe whether that's the people he talked to necessarily are as well informed as he seems to think they are. But I mean, so far I really cannot fault his approach. God, please never. I hope, please, Biden does not need to chime in. I mean, speaking of just creepiness, speaking of fucking lolicon too.
I have to give a hopefully more good explanation of this than Old Man Landre. He's not going to defend Lolly. Let's hope not.
Okay, so Xander Hall actually does not know the difference, apparently.
Term lolly refers 99.9% of the time refers to like underage girls in
No, it doesn't. This is completely wrong, actually.
Anime, like little girls in anime. You will sometimes
It refers to a fucking street fashion trend.
Sometimes get people, usually like lolicons, usually like pedophiles.
Yeah, lolicon and lolly, two very different things. That's why there are two words for them.
Who will call non-underage, like non-child characters who are like short and petite, like Rebecca from Cyberpunk, a lolly, to try to sort of muddy the definition a little bit.
Well, I don't know anything about that character, but depending, that may be a reference to what she's wearing. I don't know. Rebecca's, I'm gonna look her up. Okay, let's see, what is she... Okay, Cyberpunk Wiki, what is she... Got a picture? Okay. Trying to find some pictures to see, like... whether yeah, no, I mean, if they're referring to her as Rodi or Lolly, that is not to do with the fashion trend. Oh, I see Laia King in his chat is saying lolly clothing is different from lolly in anime, and both of them are different from Roricon or lolicon as it's been like yankified.
But pretty much every time you hear the term lolly used by an anime fan, especially by lolicons, to describe.
Well, again, see, that is a very specific qualification. So what you're saying is, if you're hearing it specifically from a pedo, it means pedo shit? Well, I mean, first of all, that does not actually... Considering, again, the extremely sus shit that Vosh has said about CSA, that doesn't exactly count him out. And second of all, that's a serious qualification, because there's a difference between... I mean, he starts out by saying anime fans, and then he specifically says lolicons. It always feels awkward to me saying it in that anglicized way. These... Roricon. Roricon da yo.
Describe a character, we're talking about a character that is going to be explicitly a child in the way that they're presented. Zan, he made a post trying to get Destiny involved. Oh, okay, he is okay, so he is...
Oh, okay, I mean, yuck.
Trying to...
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't... We definitely would not be getting on, because, I mean, fucking Destiny is actually worse than... I mean, okay, it's harder to say that. Because on the one hand, I mean, Destiny is kind of an open white nationalist. Whereas these two sort of, I mean, are a little bit coy about it. They're a little bit slick about that shit. But on the, I mean, and I guess it depends on whether you like your adversaries to just be openly horrible and openly your adversaries, or whether you like or whether you find it, you know, better when they sort of pretend to be on side. But, I mean... Destiny is definitely a mask-off person to be trying to get involved.
He is trying to get DGGers to join him, like to start subbing to him and liking him. He disabled dislikes on the video, cuck behavior. Well, yeah, because this is absolutely awful.
Oh wow, okay, so is some of that wonderful fash
It
language.
was like an absolutely desperate attempt at a get. Here, what's this post say? Is this his Reddit post? Oh my god, his username is codename Humble. Bro, go on, dude.
Who cares? Your username is Xanderhall.
A message from Old Man Landre. DGG, I have said a lot of shit about you and your dear leader, Destiny. Most of you all
Oh, DGG are fucking Destiny stands? Ugh, yuck.
hate me, and TBH, I don't blame you. Laughing emoji. And not that you need it, but you're fully permitted to keep hating me for the shit talking I've done in the past. But with all that being said, even though I've never been a member of VGG, I've aligned with that side for several months now, and it's
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. He really does suck.
consistently mystified
Everybody involved in this. This is there are no non-suck people involved in this bit of drama.
why DGG has hated VGG so much.
It's all suck.
And
It's like it's like we're at a showroom, a Dyson vacuum cleaner showroom. Every single item is like prized for its
VGG
suction.
figures so much. Well, as a man who tries to live a life of integrity, I think it's important.
Wait, you try to maybe try harder.
It's important in moments like this to say, I get it now. Holy shit, these people are bananas. Don't get me wrong, I still got my issues with DGG and Destiny, but holy balls.
Oh, okay. This is him reading. I thought it was a little okay. Yeah, okay. This is just really sus. This entire way he's doing this. I mean, the video, let me say, again, more even-handed, more honest than the attack videos that the likes of Xanderhole and fucking Vosh do. But this sort of thing, trying to get, like, the fucking white nationalists that stand Destiny at this point, I mean, that's kind of disgusting.
Balls. If you haven't gotten your fill of entertainment at my
though I have to say, I mean, if we're gonna have, like, some sort of all-in brawl between Xanderhall stands, Vosh stands, and fucking DGG pricks. I mean, you just kind of hope they all win.
The last 24 hours. Go over my Twitter at OldManLandre. It's a sight to behold. TLDR, I made a video about how disgusting I think Lolly is, and I think I was disappointed to find Vosh's My Anime list was full of content I found incredibly gross. And holy hell, the entire VGG cinematic universe lost their goddamn minds. The reason why the VGG cinematic universe, by the way, is...
Yeah, the reason is that they're a bunch of just absolutely toxic shitheads who use the slightest criticism of Vosh as an excuse to go out on just massive dog piles of just random.
Is he referring to me? Like, he does know that, like, I unironically shouted him out and, like, got him the current level of like influx of viewers that he currently has. Like he,
which does not speak highly of you either. I mean, because he
knows that he's just alienating himself from every bridge that he's built so far, destroying those bridges in the hopes that some other guy who doesn't like him might be willing to build a bridge with him. This is possibly the worst decision anyone has ever. You started.
Yeah, okay, so what you're saying is that what he's doing is not necessarily in his interest. Well, then that seems like maybe he's doing it because he actually believes what he's saying, doesn't it? And also, we haven't heard him say that, I mean, what we've heard him say is that he wasn't sure what anime was, what orori was, or what any of that shit was, and so he asked. We have not yet heard what he actually heard back from people when he asked them.
His career. I started this man's career and he ended it within like 7 months. Jesus Christ. God damn. Let me I guess give you guys a summary of what happened, written by a person who posted a link to Old Man Landre's video on Vosh's subreddit here. Not a fresh video about Vosh being a lolicon just came out. I'm sure it's not another tawdry attempt at a smear for clout.
Oh, well, I mean, there are plenty of non-tawdry attempts at pointing that out that just use Vosh's own words.
And then they summarize it here. So what Old Man Laundry, with spelled laundry, has done here is some groundbreaking investigative journalism. Using a highly sophisticated OSINT research tool called Sherlock, he was able to uncover Vosh's secret anime account on myanimelist.net, and on that found several instances of him either having watched or intended to watch anime featuring sexualization of minors, which we all know is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from being an outright lolicon and pedophile.
Okay. I mean, we haven't actually heard that accusation being made by the guy that this video is attacking. I have not actually heard anything. I don't recognize any of those titles that they showed. I don't watch that much anime. So, I mean, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I mean, what we know is that he has some fucked up opinions on the subject of, like, CSA. So, it isn't outside of the realm of possibility, but okay.
That is his argument
I
anyway.
mean, Xanderhall has zero credibility because he will just tell the most wild lies if he thinks that they will benefit Vosh.
So some of us turned to another highly sophisticated OSINT research tool called Google to aid our failing memories and found several videos of Vosh from several months ago, not only publicly showing said myanimelist.net account live on stream, but also publicly calling out several of the works mentioned in this video for containing, you guessed it, sexualization of minors, including Dragon Maid 1.
And yet we've not been shown any video of him doing this.
2? I guess these are 2
Why aren't
clips.
we being shown any? I mean, if this is something, if what he says about these titles completely clears this up, why aren't you just showing us that?
Of him calling out Dragon Maid, and No Game, No Life. Now, I'm not a weeb like the rest of you degenerates, same. And just scrolling through
Oh, lovely word there, degenerates. Yeah, that wonderful fash language.
myanimelist.net makes me wish the US had nuked Japan harder, but from seeing people's reaction on Twitter, Vosh's big...
Oh, well, yeah, because, I mean, clearly, fucking creepy pedo-y shit is just an exclusively Japanese thing. Fuck right off. I mean, look at who the U.S. elected president... Look at the last 2 motherfuckers the U.S. elected president.
Biggest crime.
Look at the guy that, I mean... And look at the guy who there are tons of statues to. All over the country, and he's on the nickel, and he's got a big memorial in fucking Monticello, or however it's pronounced. I mean, this isn't a specifically Japanese thing. This is a thing
Here
you
was
find in a
giving
lot of
Akira
places.
an 8 out of 10. Oh, Edit added a fully coolie rant, where he rants about fully coolie being sus as well.
Okay, and with that, it is 1 a.m., and it is time for me to wrap it up, but I may be back. I don't know exactly what I'm doing in terms of New Year's celebration-y type stuff for tomorrow night, so I might be back, I might not be. But in any case, thank you to everyone who's joining. Thank you, Genjaros, Gengaros, Henkiros. You said that I got your name right once, but you didn't say which time, so I'm just going to say all of them, I guess. And Phoenix and everybody for joining, and it's always nice to see you. I hope you have a great new year, and I will be back either on New Year's Eve or thereafter, and I look forward to seeing you. And if you enjoy the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can use the tip command to make a direct contribution, or you can go to my other channel, Hyperpolyglotting, on Twitch, and give me a sub or prime over there. That helps me pay my bills, and it helps me continue doing more of this, and it's always appreciated. In any case, have a very good night, and I hope to see you soon.